Well, welcome to another episode of Out of the Blank podcast. I'm here with Kristen.
Hello.
Kristen, are you ready for my exciting question I always start off with?
Yes.
What defines you?
Ooh.
Oh,
Um,
that's a good question, I'm telling you.
um, making stuff.
Making stuff.
Making. Yeah, creation.
Like breakfast?
Sometimes.
I,
Sometimes.
I
I'm more of a
honestly,
bruncher.
okay, that's a heated topic because you say brunch, people think you're coming from like a superior wealth class. Me, I'm an
No.
egg whites type of man. I put that in a frying pan and I don't even cook it right. I got one of those supposed to be non-stick. No, it's not. It sticks right to the damn thing, and then it's black. And then they're like, "Don't eat that." I'm like, "Why?" Like, that's the burned off piece of the pan on the egg. I'm like, it honestly, it provides character. That's the spice we need to make character.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of eggs at all, so I'm not very good at cooking them. But yeah, when I say brunch, I more just mean that I don't wake up during breakfast hours. So technically,
Is that because
it's
like
not breakfast anymore.
you stay up late?
Sometimes, and just because I make my own schedule, so if I can sleep until 10, why not?
I guess. I mean, I'm an insomniac, so like when I try and get sleep, it seems like the only time is like the middle of the day, and that's like when you're in the highway, like at a red light, and you're just about to take a nap. Like I'm gonna doze off for a few, and somebody beside you like, "Hey, don't do that. Don't do that."
Yeah, yeah, I go through those phases too. So I mean, like if I sleep until 10, I was probably up till 1 or 2 in the morning the day before or something. So
What are you doing up so late?
usually nothing productive.
That's the best though. It's when you come across like a Facebook video at 1 o'clock in the morning. You're like, I'll tell you right before this meeting. I'll tell you straight up right now. Have you ever seen a ship in a glass bottle?
Yes.
Do you know how they're made?
I know I've watched videos on it and it's fascinating.
I've watched a video on it just a minute ago for a good hour where it was just watching a ship in a bottle get made. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm watching this, but I want to see the end result here. And I don't feel like skipping because the process is just fascinating. Just
My husband and I watch the weirdest stuff like late at night when we're trying to just be bored. Like, we're really into the ones of like metal detecting on beaches or like diving. We also watch like this guy that makes like different houses from like the 14, 15, 1600s, whatever. He just like builds them in his yard and like miniature painting and like creating things for Dungeons and Dragons. Like we watch the weirdest things.
are you just coming across that because that's your friends like sharing a video of something they saw, or is that you coming across that because that's like the analytics thing that chooses the videos for you? Because I'm like, I get like hot sauce videos, I get like ship in a bottle, I get ponyists, like people that dress up as ponies and just
Oh, those
literally.
guys are fascinating.
You've seen it too?
Of course I have.
Oh my god, like I don't understand. Why is it better than regular cable and why isn't it on TV where I can watch it like this? If TV was more like Facebook videos, I would spend a lot more time being not productive.
Because TV is all the same stuff, and online people just put whatever they care about.
Well,
That's why we get so much more diversity.
Facebook is kind of all the same stuff. I'm always seeing some dude selling like a old Spin Master he used once and it just sat in his basement for like 10 years. And then I always see Wish, that site that
Oh
sells
man,
the most
I got
amazing.
sucked into Wish for a while.
They don't, none of that stuff's available. They show you things that aren't available on the site. They showed me based on apparently what I'm interested in, and I guess it was because all the ponies videos I watched, but a bunch of gimp masks and then a Power Ranger helmet. And I'm like, look, if I'm going to be in one of those scenarios, a sexual scenario, I'm putting on a Power Ranger helmet. I'm not wearing a gimp mask. But I'm looking on wish.com and they had none of this shit. Build your own lightsaber, it wasn't on there. Nunchucks, double dildos, wasn't on there. I don't ask me why that was one of my search
You
results.
just you just have to look harder.
Oh,
I'm
like
telling you, it's there.
the deep dark searches. Have you ever came across Reddit?
Of course.
Do you ever spend any time on Reddit?
Sometimes I go through like I'll be on it just 24/7 for like 3 days and then I'll get burnt out on it and not see it for a month, but yeah.
One of my closest friends has like 3 computer screens in his room, and one is always on Reddit, and he's just constantly looking through stuff. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm just going through Reddit. You know, you see this and this and this and this." And I'm like, I went on Reddit a couple of times, but I always get so lost I don't know how to get out. Like even if I close my phone, I don't feel like I fully escaped the grasp of Reddit.
I just have never gotten that fully into it, but it is very useful because there's a subreddit for everything. So, like, if you need information, that's a good place to go.
Is it like a substitute teacher where it's like not like the original teacher, but it's like a next level where they're still going to give you some valuable information, or they're just going to play a movie or nap time? Honestly, that was my favorite.
It might be, but it's also a substitute teacher that forged their certificate for teaching.
Have you ever came across one of your teachers or a substitute teacher that you were like, you don't really have a degree, do you?
I don't think so, but I know we treated our subs terribly.
I had one substitute teacher that was my neighbor, and I had no clue. His name was Mr. Payne, and I was only nice because his name was Mr. Payne, and also he was my neighbor. I was like, look, I know if do something, but our teacher had like, forgot her mother got sick or something, so she was gone for like 4 months. So he was our substitute teacher for 4 months. So it's not one of those things where you could, you know, mess around and then you get a new teacher the next day. No, he was there 4 straight months, and I was like, if I even mess up once, he's gonna come right over to my house when we're having supper, and he's just gonna straight up lay the law down, Mr. Payne style, saying, "Hey, Robbie was a piece of shit in class today. I don't like the way you're raising him. I'm calling social service." That was always the fear. Was that like my parents were like, if you mess up, they're gonna call social services and think that you're being abused. I'm like, so I have to be good, or do I get 2 Christmases where I get to go to some other stranger's house with a lot nicer things? They're like, that's not how it works, Robbie. That's not how it works. Well, why don't you tell me a little bit
Oh,
about yourself?
um, okay. Well, like I said, I just like to make stuff. Like I have 1,000 hobbies probably, and I'm always finding new ones. So I like to paint and draw, and I've done ceramics in the past, and I make jewelry, and I'm
Because you
also
started a cult.
a basically, yeah, that's the newest hobby.
That's
So
that's a fucking that's a hobby to get into. It's like I'm gonna start the Freemasons. I'm just gonna create a whole establishment.
I didn't think that it was going to get this big, because now that I am my own boss, I don't work for anyone else anymore. I have way more time on my hands. So I was like, let's get into gardening it started before all of the quarantine, but then it went out of control during quarantine because I was like one of those people doing if I'm sad, let's buy a plant.
I thought you were
And
gonna toss me out one of those like things like I was trying to find a spot to bury a dead body, and I came across all these pretty flowers and decided gardening might be an amazing hobby.
Well, you need to use protected wildlife to plant over bodies so that they can't legally dig it up. Protected species.
I've learned so much in any podcast I've ever done that this is gonna provide me great information one day. There's gonna be a scenario where like we gotta ditch a body. Well, let's go find some rare exotic flowers that no one's gonna be able to dig up.
Yep. Yeah, you gotta, break into some sort of protected area. Like I played at a golf course where you couldn't go get your balls that went into the wildlife because it was protected. So
That's a freaking scam and a half. I used to live at a golf course. Like my backyard was a golf course. So we always
not
used to.
all of them are. Just this one was because
Okay.
of where it was at and like how much they had done to, provide an ecosphere or whatever for the wildlife.
I was about to say I used to play on golf courses all the time, and I remember I had a literally a side like my table drawer. I guess that's a wealth class thing too. What do you call your whatever table by your bed that has your lamp on it? It's like my nightstand, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd go with nightstand.
I had a bunch of golf balls in the drawer. Like you just open up. My dad. I remember my dad one time was like, "What the fuck? Like, why?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I find them. I collect them. I love it."
Oh yeah. I used to at our home course, whenever we'd practice, I was the queen of like taking off my shoes and wading into the creek and like picking out golf balls. I'm like, yeah, but I never have to buy them.
You weren't afraid of stepping on something?
No,
Did I just put
you
that thought
look
in
where
your
you
head?
walk. No,
Yeah, but if it's in water, how do you see?
it wasn't like dirty, gross water. It was like a creek that was like, you know,
I'm from a
that
beach.
that
Oh,
deep.
okay. I'm about to say I'm from a beach town called Ocean City. If you try opening up your eyes, whatever, in this what we call ocean, it looks like you're looking through a beer bottle that someone had like hocked multiple loogies in and then put a cigarette out in.
No, this was like a small little stream that was 2 inches deep in a suburban neighborhood. So
So
it
classic,
wasn't anything.
classic creek, classic.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Well, back to the
This
cult
was
thing.
not a very good place though. Like I realized that saying, oh yeah, I played golf all the time. Yeah, no. I went to a very small school that was like, I think 400 people, and our golf course was the size of a putting course.
I
So
love how you dropped that. Like, oh no, I don't play golf all the time. That's a.
no.
I picture
Since
people
you've
with
brought up
polos.
the like, yeah, oh no, they hated me because I golfed in my flip-flops and I was very punk at the time. So I had pink hair. I mean, obviously not much has changed, but like pink hair, lots of eyeliner, in flip-flops and like cutoffs, lots of studded belts.
Why you're
Yeah.
golfing?
Yes.
That's like going to the beach in a winter jacket. Like I do that because I live here, but that's like I'm gonna go swimming, and then it's like the person that wears all clothes when they jump in the water, and you're just like, that's not comfortable. Like, first of
No,
all,
I just had to rebel.
okay.
I had to rebel, you know.
I mean, that's why you start your own stuff, because the next thing you know, you don't have to rebel to anybody but yourself, and then that's like an inner conflict, and that actually might need some therapy to solve.
I think a lot of things need therapy.
Yeah, let me tell you, nothing's better than plant therapy, though. Honestly, sitting out.
It is.
Well, I want to ask you because so for people listening, she has a thing called capsaicin. What do you call
Yeah, capsaicin cult.
it? Okay, and
Capsaicin is the thing in peppers that
yeah.
makes it hot.
Well, I've had a couple past guests you probably know, like Robert Rice from Sauced and Glazed. He creates his own hot sauce. David from Way Hot Sauce, and then our friend Donnie Cockram's been on the show.
Yeah.
The chili flavor wizard. But
Yes.
what's fun about that is like plant therapy, for instance. The reason why like you fell into an amazing community to really, if you're going to start a cult, and only because like it's so simple and it's so much fun, because the concept of you guys are just growing peppers, you guys are having fun, and that's a lot of the things we need. And like if you notice, like leaves are changing, the season is honestly getting amazing right now. If you just take a whiff outside of what the air smells like, it's fall. Like it's
Oh
that.
no, it was snowing this morning here.
Oh, well, okay. Well, in my town, it was cold enough just for the smell of fall. Like I walked outside and I could smell what if they put it into a candle, not pumpkin spice, but the seasons changing with that color of when the leaves turn to orange. And I'm like, this is what it's like. You want to feel that nice cold, like when you chew like an ice mint gum and you get that coolness in your breath. That's what it felt like in my lungs. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, we got that for like 3 days. And then we're a roller coaster here in Chicago, just up and down all the time. You don't know what you're going to get.
Home of the deep dish.
Yes,
It's not a pizza.
it can be.
It's a lasagna.
I see.
I
would think pizza.
see.
I would think pizza.
I just look at it. I'm like, man, they don't see any triangles. I gotta see triangles. It's like when I see a car and they have, if it's not a circle, I don't call it a tire. It's like, that's a square tire. I want to see you drive that thing right now.
Probably wouldn't work very well.
Well, tell me a little bit, like, for instance, about the cult, because I'm like, we brought it up. People are thinking you're murdering people, and then we went to dead bodies, which wasn't a good hop off point. But tell me a little bit about
Yeah.
it.
Another check on my why I'm on the FBI watch list or something. But yeah, so I just thought that the name was cool. I like very, like witchy, dark, just anything weird kind of stuff. So I thought that, capsaicin cult sounded good. And I really didn't think that it was gonna take off and become this thing that it has become. Like, I just hit 2,000 followers, and I only started it, like, a couple months ago, which is insane to me. um but it's because of the community, like you were talking about there. It's like the best community I've ever been a part of online before. Everybody is so nice and like interested in what everybody else is doing, and like willing to share information, and people will message me just out of nowhere and be so nice, and it's like talking to them like I've known them for years, and they're just like, oh yeah, well, how's this going or whatever, like I've just never met a larger group of people overall that are not shitty to each other.
Yeah, it's weird. If you look in the right, I guess, corners or the realms of what would be social media, like the positivity in it, because it's there. It's not everywhere, but it's there. It makes you think differently from like growing up. I'm like, I remember nobody wanted to share shit. Nobody was like, you knew your friends, but then everybody else was against you. But then, like, you look at the fact of when you go onto social media, if you look up a certain hashtag or like hot sauce, for instance, you got a bunch of people that are doing the same thing, creating a business, trying to sell their product and really trying to get stuff in there. And you fall into some really niche groups where it's like, holy crap, we're all about to do a video that's going to be on YouTube just talking about like fun times or anything. And it's like, wow, I would have never met these people if I would have never started this journey.
Yep, exactly. I've met a ton of really awesome people through it, through the Pod People group that Donnie started. That I've met a ton of people, and we've been trading things, seeds, and things that we've made, and eating each other's creations. And it's very like, yeah, let me send you my stuff, and I'll review yours, and we'll both put up videos, and we both benefit from it because it's free exposure. Whereas like in the nail business, I've had my nail account for like at least 4 years, and I'm still that barely over 1,000. And nail people are catty. They're so catty, and they want to take everybody down, and they'll see something that you're doing and they'll tear it down. And like I do like insanely detailed work, and like mini my husband called them mini masterpieces, and I'll get like 3 likes on it, and then somebody will post this like basic ass set that's like a nude nail with nothing on it and get 1,000. And it's just very like they want to bring you down, and like people try to steal your clients, and it's just the complete opposite of the pepper. And I think that's why I've gotten so like into the pepper community lately, is because it's like uplifting and happy, and that's what we
It's
need in
it's
this
the
time.
reversal. It would be the complete opposite of the nail industry. Why do you think that is though? That they're so cutthroat like that? Do you think it's just because the profession is old? Like it is more of a. I guess when you think of nails, you think of more of a business, like a manicure place or like we have a nail salon in our town. It's owned by the same people that own our Chinese restaurant, laundromat, and there's an alcohol store, which is fucking fascinating to me. That's a
I'm
cult,
not
if you want.
surprised.
Yeah, that's a cult. Um, but like, I think it's the weird part about like hot sauce community is I think it also is pretty new. I know considering like how many people are in it, it's relatively small niche group compared to like if you look up anything for like podcasters or YouTubers is like I want to get their listeners and it's not about helping each other really anymore. But if you're coming
Hmm.
from the realms of like let's say a hot sauce group, people can buy your hot sauce and then buy your friends. It's not about stealing really
Right.
customers on the aspect of like hot sauce isn't that expensive unless you're selling fucking Hot Ones hot sauce, which is like $80 for 4 sauces. I'm like, no,
Right.
I've never in my life spent over $5 only on Honey Smacks. There's nothing else getting involved there.
No, yeah, because I've watched the show for a long time. I was like, oh, let's get some of this sauce now that I'm, into eating hot things. Because believe it or not, before like 6 months ago, I would not eat hot things at all, which is just why that hell has frozen over, because now I'm eating hot challenges, which is insane
You
to me.
dive head first into that creek. You did not wade in.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. It spiraled out of control very quickly.
What's your worst challenge though? Because I have a question I want to ask after, and I have asked every person that's ever tried hot sauce, and honestly, it's my truth question. So the answer will tell me.
The worst thing was the Pocky One chip, not for heat, but for taste. Like, it was just absolutely miserable to do.
Why was it so miserable?
Because it tasted bad and it was so crusted in like the charcoal and pepper powder that it just like stuck to the roof of your mouth, and it was stale, so that didn't help it either, because like all of them seemed to be a little bit open on the sides, like both me and my husband's were open a little bit and stale, and it so you've got this stale wad of disgusting flavored shit at the top of your mouth, and you're just
Okay,
like trying to get it down.
like you're
It
chewing
was
tar.
yes. Yes.
Okay. What's the hottest challenge you've ever done? Or what's the hottest thing you've ever eaten, like experienced, like that type of bad?
The hottest thing I've eaten was some spicy noodles that one of my clients brought to me. She was like, "Yeah, I eat these at half of the flavor packet, and I sit there and cry through the whole thing. I want to see you do it now that you're into hot stuff." And I was like, "Thanks." Um, but so I did it, and I did it with the full flavor packet. And I think just because it was a whole thing of ramen, and it was definitely as hot as the Paki chip was, um, like spice level wise, but there's a whole bowl of ramen to get through. And, ramen slurps onto your lips. You
Yeah.
can't avoid getting it on your lips. You have to chew.
That's not a travel food. Not at all. No,
No,
no.
no. And that one gave me some pretty bad stomach cramps. But
Have you,
I did.
let's say,
Oh,
have
I
you,
was going to say,
my question is, have you ever shit your pants?
no,
What? That's a lie.
no, not from hot sauce. I mean,
Oh, okay.
everybody I think does when they're like ridiculously sick, probably. I
Okay.
don't know.
I thought you were say when they're ridiculously young. I'm like, don't tell her I did that like a year ago.
Oh, come on. Like everybody hasn't had a time where they thought they were going to die. They were so sick and they took a chance on a fart. Like, don't tell me you've never done that.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you for your honesty. You used to be
But from
surprised how
hot
many.
sauce, no.
Well, that's amazing. I think you need to try a pepper that'll do that to you. Because let me tell you something. I did like half a bottle of the Widowmaker in a protein shake. I don't know if you ever heard of the Widowmaker. Um, I didn't at
No.
the time, but it's an Australian hot sauce that's apparently like Johnny Scoville level. But I put it in a protein shake, like half a bottle in there. I'm like, it's gonna be an epic fat burner. Next thing I know, I'm like, I drank it. I was like, I wasn't too hot. And then a minute later, my stomach's like, it sound like freaking whale sounds. I'm like, yo, I don't feel good. I feel like I swallowed a lump of burning coal. It's like when you get a brain freeze and you can't like it's that pain in your head. You're like, I can't get it. I just gotta ride it out. That's the same thing when you eat a hot thing. You gotta feel that thing work its way through your intestine where you're like, oh sweet Jesus, like let's just cut it out of me by now. It's like when you're ready to have a baby.
Yeah, that happened to me last night actually. The Mighty Mustache, you can find him on YouTube. He does really awesome videos. Did a challenge that he sent to some of the pod people called Fireball Challenge, and it was a sauce he made that had 11 types of super hots. It also had a ton of Carolina Reaper powder, and then like this giant amount of extract that he had made, like capsaicin extract. And I thought I was fine, and I was not. Like 45 minutes later, I was just kind of like pacing the house drooling, and then it was straight to the toilet to throw up.
Think how I feel. I get hot sauce sent to me, and then I got a bottle sent to me by one of the sponsors for the podcast, David from Way Hot Sauce. He made it my own custom out of the blank sauce. I fucking love you, David, for that. Thank you. Um,
That's
he
awesome.
gave me because he loves creating logos. I'm like, dude, you're having way too much fun with this. He like he said the whole podcast description, but it was like it made it an amazing like hot sauce words like forged from fires of hell. And I'm like, all right, I got a recording I got to do with like somebody like pretty well known that I was a fan of. Next thing I know, I dumped like half this bottle of sauce into some food. I'm eating it, and I'm like, I can't talk. I will not be able to function through this thing. I got some up my nose, burn some nose hairs off. And I'm like, I don't know how that happens, but it's like one of those things. It's like, I know how to kill somebody now. You're talking about burying somebody on some whatever legal flowers. Let me tell you something. Put it that hot sauce in somebody's marinara sauce.
But the problem is, will you get them to eat enough that they actually die?
It'll work for peoples whose families are Italian. That's all I got. I had somebody cooking spaghetti the other
You got to
night. And I
put it
was
in
like,
the gravy.
I know I was looking at it. I was like, look, man, I could easily like. I know you're prone to having acid reflux, and I'm like, this is gonna kill you. Like, you piss me off. I'm just saying. We'll give it a little double tap of the bottom of the bottle and knock it right into the sauce.
See, I think you need to go with pepper flakes and not tell somebody, you get a pizza and you think that you're going to put the little pepper flakes on it. Do it with like the most super hot pepper that you can, flaked, and just replace that.
I feel like you take more time into eating than I do. Like
I mean,
they drop the pizza down, I'm just eating it. Like, there's no adding on things. Like, I think the only thing I've ever tried to add on anything was like maybe onto my salad. Like, if I make my food, I go all out. But if I'm getting food, like, I don't add like, let me put a little bit of salt, let me put a little bit of pepper, let me put a little bit of this, that, this. Me, it's just like, I'm gonna eat this now.
No, eating is an art. Eating is an art, and everything has to have what you need on it, I think. But that's also why I'm not skinny. So yeah.
Well, I understand the art factor of it. I just don't have. I look at it as a thing I got to get done. Usually, I'm just trying to eat like a real quick, and then I'm trying to go off into something else. But I eat healthy as possible. Like, but the only bad thing is I have a bad sugar thing. You mentioned that you had for breakfast Reese's Bath cereal. I have a handful of cereal on everything I eat. I mean, it's just that's my croutons for my salad. I don't like the little croutons they give me in the packages. So I said, you know what? I'm going to make my own. I got frosted mini wheats in one hand, and then I go for another scoopful. I got a random container. There's a bunch of different things inside of it. Next, it's bran flakes. Next, it's cinnamon toast crunch. Next, it's Lucky Charms. After like a year, it's all mixed up to where I'm getting an assortment of flavors in every handful.
I mean, I'd just have that with some milk. Just random cereal.
I don't do dairy.
Mm.
I get what they call the tummy rumblings. You know, when you eat too much hot sauce, you get the tummy bubbles. You're like, oh God, this is going to be an issue in 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Lactose intolerant.
Sensitive.
Yeah.
There's apparently a big difference. I could still have dairy, but it's just not good for anybody, including myself and anybody around me.
Gotcha.
Now, what'd you say with, you got me thrown off. I'm still thinking about the flowers thing. That's a good one. I've never heard that. It's a very surprising thing to me. With the pepper community, what's one of your most, I guess, best experiences you've ever had from joining it?
I guess just because I've had a lot of random people send me stuff, from like pods to sauces, without like really without asking for it. I had the Mogwai Organics. He was just like, hey, I'm gonna send you some peppers, and I was like, okay, like, do you want something in return? Like, I always feel like if people send you something, there's a like wanting something in return, or I don't know. And it's just made it nice because like I never get mail. I feel like mail is something that, unless it's junk mail or bills, like, and now during this time of year, election season, there's like always like 6 stupid things about like vote for this, which is just a waste of trees. But like nobody ever gets good mail that they're excited about anymore, and it's been so cool just like going to the post office and be like, oh my God, I got a package and a letter, like, look at this.
Yeah, it's like only time I ever get those is in the holidays. When the holidays coming up, I get like a card from somebody, or it's like I'm getting a package, which are the only 2 things I'm excited. The yellow pages. I am fucking happy when the yellow pages come because I love seeing who's around me in my neighborhood that I can just call and have a nice chat with. Like, I honestly am calling you right now because your last name surprised me. Your last name is Butcliffe, and he goes, yeah, and I'm like, dude, we got to talk about what? I don't even know you, and I'm like, yeah. But let's get to know each other and let's hang out. So I can say I have a friend named Butcliffe. He goes, I'm hanging up now. I'm like, don't do that. I'm alone.
Probably, like, he probably told all his friends about like that encounter.
It's like when you get the number neighbor, or it's like I had somebody text me that was a number away from mine, like, "Hey, you're my number neighbor." I'm like, "Whoa, what's up, man? Where are you from?" And then next thing you know, we got into this full discussion. Then eventually, I was like, "How do I say goodbye or ghost this number without being rude?" Like it was like so the most uncomfortable feeling. But and honestly, like the reason why I always bring up like I'm bringing up the hot sauce community thing is because of the aspect of. Do you think that restored your faith in people? Because honestly, I was pretty like just 100% that social media was just this cesspool of the devil's lettuce. And then next thing I know, I'm like, holy crap, there's a lot of people out here. Like I've had so much of a benefit from the hot sauce community, from pizza community, from all these different hashtags where you wouldn't think. And it's like it helps you find like the good people. I don't know if it's like a scam, but I'm like, I'm waiting for it to turn sour because it hasn't turned sour yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that social media overall is both good and bad, and people, overuse it, and yeah, I just think people share too much. Like I don't need to know that you're going to bed now. Like
For
nobody
sure.
cares.
I could tell
Yeah,
you and
I don't.
10 other people that might like it.
No,
Hmm.
I don't know. I just think there's a lot of stupid stuff that is useless on social media, but it all is also good to connect with people. Like there's no way that I would have been able to be an independent business owner and everything without it. Like that's how I built up most of my business was through Instagram. So I think that you have to use it sparingly and smart because, people don't check. I've seen people post things from like The Onion just as an example and be like, look at this, rah, rah," and they're all mad. And I'm like, dude, you realize that's a satire piece, right? And they don't. They think it was actual news or something. Like, I just think that people have gotten stupider because of the ease of access. Like, you don't have to actually learn or look for your information.
Well, it's so easy to get gaslighted over something. Like somebody sees something they don't like and they read a headline they don't like and they just run with it saying all of that and then they try and take it down. I think social media, like I'm all about theories and I've just been tossing them out like candy, basically like when you go to a parade and the guy keeps missing you, but he hits everyone else around you. Like, son of a bitch, just throw me a Jolly Rancher. Like, what the hell? Um, but I'm tossing out theories, and I think my theory with social media is more on the lines of becoming. I think it's the popular people, the people that pay, and the people that kind of like try their best to get like all over the attention are the ones that are the bad ones. You know what I mean? Like they're the ones that are like,
Probably.
because like I've through doing this, I reach out to guests like yourself, and I'm messaging people, and it's surprising. It's the ones that play it low key and play it calm, like the people that are like follow me, like every single post. I'm like, hey, saw you like this. Would you want to come on sometime? Next thing you know, it's like I can give you this. I want these questions. I want that. It's like all the people that are like really trying their hardest to what I say grinding. As soon as they use the term grinding, I'm like, fuck no. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Because that means your mindset is all about me and not about people. And that's a problem. It's like there's a way to get to the top. It's a longer route, but it's a much more fulfilling one when it comes to making amazing connections. Like I've brought up a couple of times, like the people that send hot sauces, the people that just send a package or a letter means the world to me. If you send me something saying, hey,
Right.
I enjoyed the show. Thanks for having me on and giving me a shot. Or, hey, Rob, you're cool. Whatever. That feeds my ego, sure. But I love the messages and I keep them all pinned up in my studio. It's just an amazing feeling to know, like, hey, not everybody's an asshole.
Hmm.
There are people out there that are good.
And I think that those people that, like you said, are grinding or whatever and trying to get the insta fame, like they don't, that's not their real true self. And they're probably, only putting up what they think is going to work. And they're just doing it because they think it's a quick way to, become a millionaire or whatever their goal is. And it's going to go away. Like, look at how quickly, I'm surprised how long some social medias have been around, but look at how quickly they can go away or not actually take off too, because, like MySpace used to be the big thing and now that's basically useless. Like there was Zanga was a big thing, and that's gone now. There was, a bunch of them that or ones that haven't really taken off, or like Google Plus didn't even work out. But, like as soon as that platform is gone that you're the big thing in, what do you have? Nothing,
I th-
unless you've branched out and managed to like diversify and do other things with it. But if you're just known for posting your ass on whatever platform, what do
it's
you
like
have?
if you ever see pages that grow really fast, like there's stuff that's appealing to the eyes, not just like, like if you see food, obviously food's appealing to everybody. So if you post a lot of food, you're gonna get quick likes and stuff. But the weird thing is with the likes, it's just like, why does that create such a stimulant for people? It even does for me sometimes. You post something, you get a bunch of likes, you're like, holy crap, it feels like you're Mr. Popular. And I think it's the fame and the money aspect of things that like have been instilled by society. I know I've talked about this a lot of people listening. I talk about that freaking, I just look at it like everything's so damn competitive. It's like, let's not do competitive. We're not in a full on competition. This is a thing called life, and we're all at different paces. We all have different lines of what our finished goal is. Like some people just want to be the Mormons, for instance, or the Amish. They're fine making the best damn butter you've ever seen, and they don't need social media or media to prove it. But for some people, they need to be on the next Joe Rogan. They need to be on the next this. They need to be on the next that. And if they're not doing something, then they're doing nothing. And I'm like, that is like trying to rush last minute. Like you let everybody ahead of you by 10 miles, and you're like, there's 1 mile left for everyone. You're like, I need to go now. I need to catch up as fast as possible. It's like, realize everybody's endpoint is a little bit farther than the other person.
There's that, and I think it's just our culture's obsession with celebrity. I think that's what makes our us different from, like you were saying, the Amish, is they don't have these people that they exalt and hold up like, oh my god, I need to be like Kim Kardashian because like look at her and blah blah blah, like because they just don't give a flying fuck about that. Whereas people are so obsessed with these people that don't even know they exist, and you're just making them even more richer by, watching their new stupid reality show or buying their stupid new product that they've come out with and endorsed, even though they know nothing about, and had no hand in the actual making of, and they're just getting rich off of other people's labor for making it for them. I think people need to step back and wonder why. Like, yeah, it's awesome that these people are talented, the actors or singers or whatever, like, yeah, they're talented and they deserve to be praised for that. But like, why are you so obsessed with them?
Because they have everything that what you have been brainwashed to want.
So shouldn't that make you want to just like work harder?
Yeah, but the definition of work harder means to be more popular, and to be more popular is not working harder at all. You might
I
work
don't think
harder
that's
on
the definition.
if you. What do you mean? All right, then what's your version of the definition?
I think like working harder is just finding ways that you can achieve your own goals. Not everybody's goal is popularity.
Yeah, but for the what I'm saying for like a generalization for the more of why social media is such a thing that people are grasping at is working harder is like I gotta like all these different pages to get my following up or to get this up. That's their definition of working harder. A lot of people that I come across when they're on social media is I need to follow this person, follow this person. They'll follow 50,000 accounts. Then when they all start following back, they unfollow. That's their definition of working harder because they think that's going to help them reach their goals faster. And it's like, or is
Mm.
it just making the right connections? The weird thing is, through doing this podcast, I have reached out to big pages and people that I won't have on because of the fact of how they've just treated the whole thing. And then I reached out to a page that had like 10, 15 followers, and the dude owns a multi-million-dollar company. Like I had a dude who owns one of the giant food chains in New Orleans, and he didn't have that many followers. I was like, "What is this?" And he goes, "I don't care this much about this platform at all. My thing does fine." And I'm like, "That's the thing. You never know who you might meet. You never know what conversation you might have that might open up a door or might, but you should never expect that from anybody. You should, it just comes. It's just a thing. I think everyone's accepting or wanting something that's going to push them to the next level. And sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. You got to do what makes you happy. You got to do what you love to do, not do something because you feel like you have to be number one.
Well, yeah, definitely. I think, yeah, I think if you're going for, the influencers, that is their definition of work harder. But I think people need to take social media less seriously. Like it is good to put yourself out there, but that shouldn't be what you're working hardest on, you know?
It shouldn't consume your life.
No, it shouldn't. And that, I've felt like that's becoming a problem for me. So I have been taking a step back. Like I really only concentrate on Instagram. Like my Facebook only gets reposted from my Instagram because I'm just sick of it. Like I just want one place to pay attention to. Like if we racked up all of the hours we stare at our phone looking at something that's not going to benefit our lives in any way, shape, or form, like look at all the time you waste.
Yeah, I think Instagram's the main one I focus on mostly because the connections I've made with amazing people have been through that. But I ended up doing what I did recently, which was like taking some time off of this thing. Like I only post one post a day. And then most of the time it's like I'm getting notifications 24/7 of messages from people. So I'm like, here's my phone number. Here, text me. I'd rather see that than a notification blip from Instagram tell me, "Oh, pages we suggest you follow." They'll fucking tell me what I want to follow. I will pick what I want to follow. I don't care if somebody else follows that. I'm not them. I'm somebody else. But it's those notifications. Like I'll wake up in the middle of the night from some person in Australia messaging me because it's daytime there, and I'm like, I guess I set myself up that way because of the podcast. But then like you're gone one day, you feel like you missed it all, and I was like, what? But it feels good when you don't have that thing that's constantly, it's like nagging at you like a small child pulling your arm in a store, like, hey, I want to get this. I want to get this. I want to get this. It's like, let me just breathe. Let me smell the fall air or winter, whatever season
Hmm.
you're dealing with right now in this time. But it's that type of scenario where it's like, I love the connections I've made, but you got to transfer them off of just the app, the one app that controls it all. Because then next, you give something that much power. It's like the Neuralink. You want to talk about something that is fucking nuts. Put the Neuralink in your head. How long until the government can say that's government property? So technically we own you. That's another theory I'm tossing out. Like, well, come on
Are
now.
you a Doctor Who watcher?
Is that what Doctor Who is?
You need to look up the Cybermen from Doctor Who. That's one of the because they have these little ear pods that, there's one episode where the Cybermen, long story short, transform real people into robots basically, and like a one of us kind of a thing. And there's an episode where they get them because all the rage is these new little ear pods, and everybody has to have them, and everybody's connected, and they'll play your news and whatever you want through them. And they're so essential to life that, and then all of a sudden the Cybermen come in and they send a signal out and everybody's boop, and then they're going in to be slaughtered basically. So
First off, I want to say spoiler alert.
yeah, sorry.
Second off, I want to say
There's so much more to that episode that probably won't spoil it because I'm really bad at recapping things. But
my buddy, I was giving him the beginning scene from Hubie Halloween because I was recommending it when it came out, and I was like, dude,
it
it's
was
so.
cute.
I was like, it's like Waterboy mixed with Halloween. It's a little bit stupid, but it's funny slapstick humor I like. And I'm like, dude, and I told him the very first scene where he's riding on the bike, that little small 5-second thing, and he just goes, I'm unfollowing you if you're going to spoil the rest of it for me. And then he didn't talk to me for like 4 days until he finally watched it. I was like, bro, but it's like, all right. So
But the thing with Doctor Who is there's so much of it because that show has been on so long, and there's been so many different Cybermen episodes, and I really didn't give away details of it. So it's not a super spoiler.
I'm not upset about that. I'm upset about the fact of every time I'm like, damn, Robbie, you're really onto something. This is a cool thought to throw out there. Everyone always says, do you ever seen Black Mirror or you ever seen Doctor Who? I'm like, no, why? They're like, exactly what you're saying is from that show. I'm like, who the fuck? Why do I feel like I'm on the come up of like, oh my God, this is the next, I made the microwave. And then some dude's like, dude, that's already been made. You're like, fuck.
Because everything's already been done. History's been so long. It's just putting your own spin on it.
That's true. And also the fact of like, I feel like we say that, and then next year there's like, how did we ever live without this? It's like, I don't know. I don't honestly ever want to drive a Tesla, and I honestly don't ever want to get the Neuralink. But I'm also like part Mormon, where like I like their guidelines. I just don't want to live their lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like it's like I'll observe. I think it's cool what you're doing, but like they don't believe they can get the coronavirus. They're like, we don't have media. I'm like, oh, what does that mean? They're like, we don't have media, so we don't have the coronavirus. I'm like, oh, so are you saying
because you get it from the 5Gs, right?
well, that, and they think it's political. And I'm like, okay. You don't even care who's running your country. You just want to make sure that you can make your butter as long as you want.
Yeah. There's a lot of interesting things with religious communities that are fascinating.
My rule is let people be people. As long as it doesn't hurt me or anybody else, let them do it. I'm open to it all. I love entertaining it. I love throwing theories out there. I'm like, hey, do you ever think that like maybe, I don't know, butter is like a substance we could be using to pave our roads? And then all the Mormon people are like, he just changed our life. And next thing you know, it just leads down this whole rabbit hole where I'm like, next thing you know, you end up finding out that like the walls that go into your house are really made of sandalwood. And you're like, no, it's not. That's brick. No, that's sandalwood. Like you can get anybody to think anything if you have a really persuasive argument.
Well, that's how actual cults happen.
We bring it back to the cult, like I'm saying. That's how you got to persuade people. It starts off with growing peppers, then it goes to sacrificing chickens, and then it goes to a whole nother level. But you got to tell me what that level is. What are your plans for the cult?
I didn't think it that far, honestly. Like, I think it's just, if it's kind of a place where if you want to hang out, like you kind of do with your podcast, like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but everybody's welcome on my page. Like you said, as long as you're not hurting anybody, I probably am okay with you. But
cult has formed into the word where we think of cut off heads of chickens and blood and ritual splatters. That's not what it is. Cults nowadays cults are just people surrounding themselves with people that think just like them. So it's a lot like the political office, but the concept of you have people that are not trying to harm anybody, but they're just trying to have fun with people that agree with their same views. So it's like it's groups, and that's the importance of it. We all want to be around, especially something so passive as like gardening or something. If you have a gardening hobby, a beekeeping hobby, whatever, surround yourself with people that do that stuff so you'll have people to hang out with. It's like me, my best friend doesn't like any of the shit I like. So like if I want to talk about a podcast I did or something, I'm like, hey, he's like, I don't care. I don't care. What, do you have a podcast? I'm like, dude, you were my first episode. He goes, I know. And I'm like, I know you follow me. He goes, yeah, but I don't care about podcasting. You know what I care about? I care about Reddit, trucks, and I also care about YouTube videos. I'm like, I'm on YouTube. He goes, I don't watch your videos. I'm like, well, this is the best relationship because you look at me like a person. I look at you as a person. Nobody's at a different level.
Yeah, that's true.
I also like being abused.
Well, that's a whole different topic.
Back to the wish.com, eh?
Oh, the weird stuff from Wish.
Well, look, you've given me enough of your time, and I really appreciate it. Is there anything you want to promote? Any shout outs you want to give to the pod people?
Oh man, just all of them in general are really great people, and there's so many to list, and I'm terrible at remembering everybody, so I don't want to offend anybody from not saying their name. But yeah, everybody who has tried my ghost pepper rock candy or is trying it soon, because that's something that I want to work on soon.
Ghost pepper rock candy?
Yes, I candied ghost peppers and then I crystallized rock candy around it. And a couple of the So it's a spicy rock candy.
Are you
And
killing kids this Halloween? Is that what I'm getting out here?
I mean, if it couldn't be traced back, no.
If you got a neighbor you hate, it's like giving out popcorn balls that are like hard as crap. When you bite into them, they chip a tooth. You just got to give them to your neighbors. Like, hey, I made this amazing candy. I hope you like it. And then they eat it. And next thing you know, you hear them going, "What have you done to me?" There's like laying on the bathroom floor, like crawling.
I think part of what I enjoy about this is I do kind of want to bring pain to people in a funny way. Especially if there wasn't a pepper in it and it just looked like regular rock candy, and you go and then it burns your face off. Like, how funny is that?
I mean, it's funny, sadistic. I like it. I'm in.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess all of those people, and you can find me on Capsaicin Cult, or my nail page is Nerdy for Nails. Not the letter or the number, but FOR, because there's two of us now. But yeah, I guess.
Look.
Yeah, well, I was there first.
So you got the original. Did they put the 4 in the middle then?
Uh-huh.
Wow, that's some cheap stuff. It's like somebody owns my personal Twitter, the famous guitar player. And I look at him like, where's your new music? He's like, I haven't created anything in any like maybe 15 years. But guess what? He tweets constantly. Check out my old song. It's like, bro, let it go. Create some new shit and move on.
You're like, nobody cares anymore. We heard it already.
All right. Well, I appreciate you for doing the podcast. I'll make sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on. This was really awesome. I don't think I've ever just been interviewed out of the blue. So.
Wow. You could have dropped the show name, but you didn't drop the show name.
The show name? Oh, out of the blank.
There you go. You said out of the blue.
Oh man, fuck! I totally missed it. That would have been perfect. Yeah. So thank you.
How was your shot? Yeah, it's Pat Benatar. Hit me with your best shot.
I'm not that smart on the quick jokes. I'm sorry. That totally sucks. It would have been great.
Ah, God. How many song references can you name off in 5 minutes that happen to do with peppers?
All I can think of is the Spice Girls right now.
That's a perfect one. I wasn't even thinking about that. That's great. I was thinking like, I don't know, Fire Burning by Sean Kingston.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Through the Fire and Flames.
That's true. Johnny Cash, obviously. It burns. Burning
Ring of Fire.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of songs that Firestarter. I'm a fire starter.
Obviously, The Prodigy.
Sean Paul, that Temperature.
True. I would love for pepper versions. We actually talked about that once on the Discord about reworking songs to be pepper songs.
Like just inserting the word peppers in there?
Or reworking the lyrics completely. Like I have started redoing Ice Cube's "It Was a Good Day" to be a pepper related rap.
Do you have the lyrics in front of you?
I would not do all of it, but just waking up in the morning, gotta check my pods, gonna look for anything kind of odd.
That's freaking amazing.
So yeah, maybe if I get to enough followers on YouTube, I'll rap the entirety of whatever I decide to name that.
Well, I have a new goal. Get you those followers.
So yeah, because that's my go-to karaoke song, so it'll work well. Yeah.
My go-to song is so different.
It's either Ice Cube or like Elton John or Real Big Fish.
Sell Out?
Oh, I love Sell Out. I love all Real Big Fish. I have seen them so many times in concerts. They're awesome.
I had the singer's best friend on here.
What? That's
Peter.
Awesome.
I had the Expendables on here too. That was probably my favorite.
I'm gonna have to find that. I'm
a giant reggae fan, but no, that's funny because mine's karaoke song is Katy Perry's Firework. That and Wrecking Ball, they hit you good.
I bet.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you wrap up the show. How do you want to end it?
Um, I don't know. I'm terrible at these things, but this was an awesome experience, and thank you so much. And I look forward to watching even more of your podcasts.
I was hoping you were going to say. I was hoping you were going to say, "You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here."